Oh, is it on? It is on now. Yeah, I'm sorry for like streaming again, by the way. I just kind of caught up to the drama in Drama Boy, I know. But this one is really interesting, and I felt like I had to talk about it. And it's not that I had to talk about it, it's more that I'm just here to show you everything and how things work. And this stream is going to like change a lot of the perspectives like you guys have out there, and then show you the reality of like what's been happening and what's wrong and what's not wrong and what the truth behind everything is. So this localization drama, whatever out there, is apparently what everybody knows about, right? Did you guys know about this, by the way? Let me actually take a poll, I'm curious. So did you guys know about this? Yes means yes, you knew about this. No means like you didn't know about this. So this topic actually got brought up like once, you know, on stream. Like I was streaming actually. I was streaming in Tokyo, like just running around, and I was like having some problems in the stream too. And then this topic got brought up like randomly, and I didn't know what was happening. Like we kind of just treated the topic as if we were talking about Naruto basically, but it was not really something like that. And Butterfingers MB just met Spider-Man in Osaka. Thank you so much. And this thing that people seem to be talking about right now, like Asmongold, everybody else is talking about here, is a lot deeper than you guys think. So what's the question again? Yeah, it's not that important anymore. Like I was curious like if you guys know about this drama or not. But this thing right here is again, I'm going to cover something nobody has mentioned before. I mean, there's like some people like that mentioned this before, but I'm going to talk about all the things like nobody knows about for reasons. And I'm just going to reveal everything about a lot of things. And as to the drama itself, I'm not really interested in that. I don't know like what it's all about, and I don't know like who is getting hate and whatever. But I'm going to talk about the most important thing, which is AI. It's my profession. It's something like I've been dealing with like for freaking like 5 years now actually. And so let me just talk about the lore before anything. But so before watching the video, you guys know how this localization, like this drama happened, right? By the way, do you guys know how this drama happened? Do you guys know the lore? I have to make sure about this, so I can just like show you everything. Our localizer is different from translating. I'm gonna talk about everything here too. He's a dude. Yes, no, yes, somewhat not aware about this though. So the professor. So this topic right here is my profession. This is what I do for a living. So I'm gonna actually explain everything, and then I have to be the first person to actually show you how it works and why it's a problem or not. So ready? So the lore, I could be wrong about this, but the lore is basically this. Some localizers are getting fired right now, or they got fired because the companies out there noticed they don't need localizers or translators anymore because they can replace them with AI. If you guys didn't know, this is actually kind of what's been happening in 2023. Well, like what happened a lot in 2023, and it started happening around 2023 July, August. I forgot like when it exactly happened. And as a translator myself, I do translations, I do voiceovers, I do voice acting, and I do like, I was kind of hiding this, but now everybody knows. I do some audio engineering stuff as well, like mixing and like mastering. Like I do that too, and some other stuff actually. So I have a lot of like things that I do in my life as a profession. Translation is the one like I actually grew up with, as in I went to university to get that degree as well. So when it comes down to you're a voice actor, yeah, if you didn't know, Nice to meet you. So when it comes down to like doing translations, that's the field I'm most comfortable. I kind of, not really. I do voice acting a lot more, but basically what I'm trying to say here is when it comes down to doing translations, I have a degree, is my point. And thank you, Unknown. Is it about bad localizers getting ditched? Bad and lazy translators are one of the reasons I started learning Japanese. But here, let me actually show you what I'm talking about. So, translators out there are getting fired right now. They are losing jobs. And it's not about bad translators are getting fired or anything. Literally, translators right now are losing jobs. And let me explain how it's happening and why it's happening. And then how this drama happened. And there's like more to talk about. Like there's like so many things I have to talk about. So let me explain how translations work before anything. Because I've done like so many things myself. So here, when you translate things, what you do first is called translation. I'll try to make it like as simple as possible, okay? Translation. And then what you do next is this. Proofreading. This thing is so important. Let me explain what proofreading really is. If you make music, this is the same method as mastering. Or even mixing or mixing and mastering both. Like that's what proofreading is. If you watch anime, proofreading is kind of like, so doing translation is doing ha, right? And proofreading is kind of like ha, and becoming a Super Saiyan. Like that's what proofreading is. This thing is so important. Proofreading is like checking grammars, right? It's not just only about grammar checking or anything. It's more that seeing everything and changing the whole thing into a natural sounding language. What it means is like basically this. So let me just show you an actual example of like how translation is done. By the way, I've been doing this since like since I was like 2022. So I've been doing this for about 10 years now. So first, let's say you come up with this sentence, right? I eat poop. I eat poop. And in Japanese, like obviously, there's like only one way to translate it, which is うんこ食べます。うんこ食べます。This is how translation is done. And proofreading is basically like, instead of saying うんこ食べます, they say クソ食べるぞ. If you know how Japanese works, it might make sense more. So うんこ食べます is like, it's not grammatically wrong or anything, but if you say クソ食べるぞ, like that sounds more Japanese. Like it really sounds like a Japanese person actually saying it. So that's what proofreading is. And that's why this is so important in terms of like translating things for games, for anime, for actual projects. This process is the most important more than anything. So translators were a thing forever because no AI could do it. Like no AIs were able to pull off this level of thing. And then in 2023, around September, like October, like when I started like streaming a lot more, something changed. GPT-4 got this huge update, and now GPT-4 can do this insanely well. And a lot of companies like started noticing it. I'm gonna actually show you how it works, because a lot of you guys still like don't know how it works. By the way, before anything, I just wanted to show you how to dox people using GPT-4 as well, because this is kind of important as well, because nobody seems to know how it works. So what you have to do is make sure you get GPT-4. This is going to be kind of wild and like it's gonna scare a lot of people. So I took this picture in Shibuya the other day while streaming. What you do is this. Using GPT-4, now GPT-4 can use the internet, analyze things by itself, and then it can try to figure out where the picture was taken, not from the metadata. Not from the metadata. I'm gonna show you. What you do is this command. Google where this picture was taken. Like saying Google is the most OP thing you can do right now. If you say that, it means basically you're telling GPT-4 to search things on the internet. So GPT-4 becomes the mastermind. You get that, right? So you do this. And then what it first does is obviously it will use the power of Google. Like, I mean, in this case Bing, but still the same thing. And then boom. So basically it's trying to figure out where this picture was taken based on like all the things GPT-4 sees. Yeah, so already it knows where this picture was taken. So what I'm trying to say here is how powerful GPT-4 has become. And GPT-4 is capable of doing a lot of different things. And boom, yes, so it's Shibuya Mark City. And so GPT-4 actually got it right. And so you know how it works, right? But then you might be thinking, oh, but you know, it's just reading the metadata of the picture itself. It's not that, like, GPT-4 figured out where the picture was taken. Then another picture here. I actually took it just now. This is a picture of my pants, actually. Like, freaking this close. And I took a picture of that myself. So, let's see. Google where this picture was taken. That's the magical word. Let's see if ChatGPT-4 will figure out where this picture was taken. Yeah, this is my pants, by the way. How much is that pants? I don't know, man. Like, I freaking got them for like $20. This image you've provided appears to be blurred or obscure. So, in short, GPT-4 is saying, I don't know. Like, he doesn't know. The point is here. It actually has the power to analyze things, Google things. It's the mastermind right now. If you put this one word, Google. So, now you know how GPT-4 works. It's the mastermind that has the knowledge of the internet. Now you get it right. GPT-4 right now is this powerful, is what I wanted to tell you. So, then the next subject. GPT-4 can translate things, and then it can proofread your script. And a lot of companies started noticing this. And I'm gonna publicly talk about it. I'm gonna be the first person to actually talk about it from a translator's perspective. I'm gonna get a lot of hate from it, by the way, from like a lot of translators, because this is going to destroy a lot of translators, including myself, but I don't know, man. It's already happening. And thank you, Asta. Ayo Sora Pantsu on stream, thank you. And a note, read it after explaining. As far as I know, good translators are not getting ditched, since translation is very difficult by itself. Tom Scott made a good point about it in his video about subtitles. Yes, true that, but let me actually just show you something. So let's say, I want you guys to just, write something. I want you guys to write something. Like, can you guys, like, write a story? You know what? I'm gonna just, like, do it myself. So, I want to hope you guys all speak Japanese, so like you guys know what's happening. So I'm gonna just write a story here, okay? Like, today I took a poop and I threw it into my toilet. Lol, I'm so stupid. And you know what? I had a milkshake from McDonald's the other day. Lol, I'm 12, so I play Roblox. Damn it, I'm so good at Fortnite. Yo, swag. Lol. So this is the script I came up with. And let's say you want this to be translated into Japanese. And let's see what it does. In this case, I don't think Google is necessary because like there's nothing like it has to Google. It's more that you just put this. Translate this into Japanese. Like that's what you do. And then, this is what happens. 今日うんちをしてトイレに投げ入れたよ。僕は本当にバカだね。それにね、この間マクドナルドでミルクシェイクを飲んだんだよ。12歳だからブロックスやってるんだ。チェックショー、フォートナイトめっちゃうまいんだ。よー、スワッグ出る。So, it translates, right? But if you speak Japanese, you can kind of tell. Like, this is still like weird. Like, it's weird. It's very weird. Like, if you speak Japanese, you should be able to tell that something about this is like very off. Like, you can tell, like, it was translated by machines and stuff. At this point, it's the same level as Google Translate, DeepL translation, whatever, like, machine translations out there. Why Google Translate, why GPT-4 is so good at translating is this. It sounds very unnatural. That's the command, by the way. I figured it out myself. It sounds very unnatural. Can you proofread it and make it sound natural for the native Japanese speakers? Let's see.
今日うんちをしてトイレに流したんだよ。僕バカだよね。それからね、この前マクドナルドでミルクシェイクを飲んだんだ。わら、12歳だからロブロックしてるのさ。くそ、フォートナイトめっちゃ得意なんだよ。よ、かっこいいぜ。
It's still kind of a bit weird. So let me just do one more step here. Proofread the script, and there are some sentences that make no sense. Fix it all, and if there are any things that make no sense, get rid of them. Let's see. And thank you, David McIntosh. Sora type 紙女みたいだな in Google Translate. Thank you so much for that. I'm actually curious about this.
今日うんちしてトイレ流したんだよ。わら、僕ちょっとおかしいよね。それからこの前マクドナルドでミルクシェイク飲んだんだ。12歳だからブロブロックスやってるんだ。フォートナイトも得意ですごく楽しいよ。
And then, just because GPT-4 learned to get rid of like this thing right here that sounded just like so weird, now it's a lot more natural. But then from here, you can do a lot of things. Like if you want the translation to be like a Yankee sounding, if you know what Yankee is, it's basically like a punk. Like let's say, make it Yankee sounding. You can do anything really with this.
今日な、トイレにうんちぶち込んだぜ。はは、俺ってマジでアホだろ。おい、それからな、この前マックでミルクシェイクぶち込んでやったんだぜ。12つってもな、ロブロックスとかバリバリやってんだよ。フォートナイト、俺ね、よー
So, I'm not gonna really explain how insane this is. Like this is something Google Translate, DeepL translation couldn't do. Is it a pay to have to? Yes, it's like you have to pay like for $20. But what I mean is no AIs could do this before. And a lot of companies started figuring out, can it use dialect? You can use dialects too. Like that's kind of why this is crazy. Make it Osaka Ben. Ready?
今日な、うんちしてトイレにポイッとな、アホやろ、わい。それな、この間マクドナルドでミルクシェイク飲んだぞ。飲んだで。と、12歳やけどロブロックスめっちゃやってんねん。フォートナイト、そらめっちゃうまいで。
And if you still think this is like a not good AI, I don't know what else is. This is an AI that can translate this thing into so many different ways. And you don't have to pay for it. If you want it to like, でもそれ 3.5 でもできますよね。3.5 でやるのはあんまり精度高くない。おすすめしない。It did sound different. So what I mean here is it can translate this thing into like so many different things. And the accuracy is just insane. It is insane. So again, what I was talking about, it's first, scripts get translated, the process of translation, and proofreading. This part is so important. Like this is when we freaking spend a lot of time on, really, more than anything. And then this is the translation, process. And this is the proofreading method. This part, we don't have to pay for translators anymore. Like usually translators proofread the script, so there are actual professional proofreaders now. But boom, now you can do this. And by the way, if you use ChatGPT-4 to leave comments on my channel, I wouldn't be able to tell. What you have to do is this. Make it sound like it's something you see on YouTube, like comments and stuff. So use internet slang words. If you do this, I don't think I'll be able to tell. Let's see. No, GPT-4 kind of got it wrong. This is just cringe. But yeah, it really looks like it's freaking typed by an actual Japanese person, but this is just cringe. This is cringe. This is cringe. Like, this is cringe. This is more like a person trying to be cringe on purpose. So I'm not really sure. Yeah, YOLO, yeah, this is just cringe. So like, it got it kind of wrong this time. But what I mean is, you can proofread the script here yourself. And that's how crazy this is. So then I'm gonna talk about the localization whatever too, because it's kind of like the same process as like a proofreading, really. But let me just do this. 紙じゃ見たいな。Ah, like a goddess. No, that's what it means though. But thank you so much. No, thank you. Is it you then? What do you mean? So the thing about it is here. One thing I can say is inside here. こちらの YouTube ライブでは人工知能が翻訳の分野どんどん活躍してるんですよ。So the cringy part is translated wrong. I kind of feel like it was translated by like 3.5 here. Because I don't think GPT-4 translates cringy to just cringy in Japanese. But let's see. But this is GPT-4. This is like the paid one. So let's see. Sora is cringe as fork, yo. Translate this into Japanese. So you do translation first. Like that's how it is. And then it sounds unnatural. This process is 100% necessary, by the way. Arbor Chatbot, thank you. Buy a cosplay when you go out tomorrow. Thank you so much. I don't think I will do it, but thank you. And this process is 100% important. You have to do it. You have to do it. This sounds unnatural. Proofread it and make it sound natural. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is actually insane. That is actually insane. That is actually insane. Whoa. Japanese people out there. You know like how crazy this is, right? From Sora wa fork no you ni cringe de, this actually made no sense. But this actually is something you freaking see on Twitter. Right? Thank you, Anode. About ChatGPT trying to be cringe on purpose. Is it like you? Yes. But thank you so much for the donation. I agree with you. 明日、今日トイレ行ったらうんこしてる最中にドアの向こうで猫がギャン泣きして嫌がった。ギャン泣き? The thing about it is like here. I'm guessing like you probably used GPT-4 here, butギャン泣き is one phrase you cannot get from like any AIs. Like what I mean is like Google Translate or something. ギャン泣き is basically you were crying super hard. That's a slang word. I don't know how we got that, but basically I'm just trying to spread all the things. But anyways, what I mean here is the proofreading process is important, like more important than anything. So this proofreading part, if you do it right, you can get anything. Is basically what I wanted to say. So GPT-4 is like all like it's all skill based game where your skill is everything. So if you think you cannot do anything, like something on GPT-4, you have to know it's capable of a lot of things. And if you are interested in like the tech stuff and whatever, it has plugins, by the way. This is gonna freaking blow your mind. There are so many plugins out there. And I have like 4 of these actually. But you can get so many plugins, and obviously all of them are free. And plugin stores, you know, how there are like so many plugins out there actually. I thought there's about like 100 something thousand on here. Oh, so yeah, see, plugins. They are like about 260. So you can do so many things. You can basically make it generate any things. You can even like make it come up with like so many things. It's just crazy. And why it's crazy is if you use GPT-4 and if you make it proofread, and if a Japanese person actually manually just tweaks it a little bit to make it look like it's not done by ChatGPT-4, like nobody can tell if we used AI or anything. It's impossible. And I saw that insight. Thank you so much for the donation. There are a lot of issues with using AI translations. Not only you would need to proofread, but for a huge company, you'd have to keep it consistent with the style guide. Again, GPT-4 is something you can just tell it to do anything. So it can have flaws, but it's all about how you use it. I didn't want to お金はお金. Sure. By the way, GPT-4 already knows the concept of like jokes and stuff. What is this? Can you explain the point? No. Joke here? If you just want to know what it means, obviously it will tell you, right? But this part is like something everybody knew. So translate it into English. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Because I wouldn't be able to come up with anything. Money is scary. Okay, it doesn't sound like a joke, so make it somehow a joke. Oh, and by the way, one more thing. If you're curious about some stuff, I'm not gonna say that much. You can jailbreak GPT-4. Google it yourself. Here. Why is money so terrifying? Because it's always in the cents. That's kind of like a great way to like translate things. But this is something I cannot come up with. But what I mean here is GPT-4 has the power of like coming up with like so many different things, and this makes sense. This is the process of like translating something first and then making it proofread, right? Like this process. 翻訳がいらないというか職失ってる最中でございます。A lot of people are curious about this. Japanese people and you guys out there. Let me explain. It's not that translators are like about to lose their jobs. We are losing our jobs right now. It's happening already right now. It's happening ongoing. It started happening since like September. これは今現在起きてる話です。私たち職失ってます。俺はもう諦めた。Yugo Armarilu, thank you. This isn't new. Corporations have been using built-in localization apps for years. I used them 6 to 7 years ago. AI buzzword is freaking normies out. Thank you so much for that. The thing about it is, it was not perfect. Like, it was so obvious that people could just like point out so many weird mistakes and like so many weird like phrasings. It was weird. Like all the people who used AI for like localization stuff was so like obvious. Any people who speak Japanese and English would know like something was like translated by AI and whatever. But GPT-4 can now proofread things so well to the point where it can even pull off this kind of stuff, which is something I couldn't even do. And then it has the power of like Googling. So Google and come up with the closest translation to this in English. Let's see. Let's just use the power of the internet as well. It didn't even freaking work. Let me just use another prompt here. That's usually what I have to do. Thank you, Mr. B. It feels like the jobs which we have to study hard for, like office and skilled jobs, will be replaced easily. Yeah, I mean, translators are dying right now. The ones which seem tough, like manual and hands-on jobs, will be more protected. AI tools will just make the rich even richer. Yeah, it's what's happening right now. Like Chinese people stopped hiring translators. ChatGPT made this joke. Why did the toilet paper roll down the hill? Because it wanted to get to the bottom. Just like Sora's jokes. Thank you so much. And wait, let me just do this. It doesn't even freaking Google. Okay, Google and translate into English. I just wanted to like use the never mind. But let's just move on. And I'm gonna talk about the whole thing, about this thing. Now you guys know how it works, right? And now you guys know the scary part of like AIs or like GPT-4. 配信者も必要。配信者は大丈夫だと思う。So like let me actually talk about my experience here. So I've been working as a translator. I've been working as a voice actor, voiceover artist, whatever. I don't get any offers anymore. They all gave up. Like my clients all just went like, oh, GPT-4 can now pull this off. So what's the point of like hiring translators now? That's basically what's happening now. The proofreading part made everything different. The Googling part made everything different. Because if there are any slang words or anything, GPT-4 can now search things. And the thing about it is like here, it can even read pictures. It can even read pictures and get text from pictures now. Yeah, so AI isn't copyrightable in US though. Yeah, so like again, there aren't any laws about it, so like that's kind of why, yeah, I'm just Sora, it's time for you to become a full-time content creator. The reason why I've been posting more stuff is not because I wanted to be a full-time content creator, but it's more that I just felt like I have to get my name out there. And I just felt like I had to let everybody know that I exist. So maybe people can hire me for like their voice-related stuff. That's my strategy here. While you stream, let ChatGPT do it. That's literally what Quabblecop is doing. His entire existence is like done by AI. Ultimo Vice, do you think language professionals are gonna be replaced by software professionals going forward because of this? Oh, do I think language professionals are? I'm not really sure like what your definition of like a language professionals are like, or is like, but one thing I can tell you is you don't even have to like ask any difference between wa and ga to Japanese people anymore. Like what you do is this. I was freaking using the plugin. That makes sense. Oh, it does. Never mind. So you just have to like ask GPT-4 what the differences are, and just ask it to Google. Then you get the mastermind, the power of the internet. Basically, nobody can beat that stuff now. Let's see. But I wouldn't say so yet, but nobody knows. Arnold, thank you. Does that mean, in your opinion, that those AI translations will bring death to the Japanese English? Or you think they're lazy enough to not use it? They are lazy enough to not use it because, I mean, Japan is a country where they just don't trust, like, machine stuff, like, at all. And especially AI, they wouldn't do it. But once they know, once everybody knows, like, this is, like, 100%, like, hands down the best method, then boom. Yeah, it will be gone. Because proofreading is like what's so amazing about this. Paul Emery, at work now, but as work in publishing suspect, I will find this super interesting later. Thank you in advance. Thank you. Asta, yeah, but can AI speak cringe? Nyasengan. Maybe. And so here, if you wanted to learn Japanese, you can do this too. What's the difference between wa and ga? Oh, no. You have to type this one phrase. Google it. Then it can get the information that's out there on the internet. Then it becomes suddenly the mastermind. That's like the ultimate command. So this is what you do. Google it. You have to put this basically. And then it will get all the info from the internet, right? And it will never get like wrong info because it will analyze things by itself. See? 翻訳も専門でも無理。もう専門でも終わった。法とか特許は確かに違うかも。そこら辺は。でも、それもできんだけどな。See? So it basically got the information of the internet and boom. This is why it's just like insane right now. So like, you can do this, by the way, everybody. If you want it, what's the difference between unko and unchi? That's kind of stupid, but sure. Let's just ask GPT-4, but let's use the power of the internet at the same time too. Like that's kind of like the point of this stream here. Google it. You have to put Google it. That's what's important. Being search, yeah, it's still like better than nothing. See? Now it will use the power of the internet. So basically, GPT-4 will use the knowledge it has plus the knowledge it has there are on the internet. That's what's happening here. So whatever that is, I'm not gonna really just... Oh, that's actually interesting. And a police robot, thank you. Hi Sora. Gonna fall asleep to your stream. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Can ChatGPT-4 make subtitle in all languages for a video? Dude, let me show you something. My answer is going to be yes. Because did you guys like watch by the way, this video? Or like any of my recent videos, by the way? Have you guys ever watched my videos, by the way? I'm gonna just assume you guys have watched my stuff. All the videos are translated by GPT-4 and then proofread by GPT-4, including this too, by the way, like everything. I mean, I made this in capital letters myself because I just felt like I had to. Like all the things you are seeing here, like I didn't do anything myself. Like, I mean, I've been publicly admitting this. I never translate things myself. I freaking put the script, and this whole thing is in Japanese way. I put the whole thing into GPT-4, and I didn't do anything. And it just does a great job too, because it makes so much sense. And that too. Like, it knows how to tell a joke. No way, you say that, but like, I've been publicly saying this from like, which video was it when I publicly just announced that like all the subtitles are done by GPT-4? Like, which video was it? It was like a while ago, right? Yeah, from like this video actually. So, for at least 8 months, I've been using GPT-4. I don't have to fix, no, I don't even do anything like myself, because like GPT-4 can just manually proofread this. So as a translator, like who just translated everything on my channel myself, like that's kind of why I've been saying like AI is freaking scary. I asked GPT-4 to translate Sora's a weeb into cringe. This is what it sent me. Sora-chan's like totally... yeah, Asta, that's cringe. Yeah, GPT-4, it's cringe. And by the way, the cheat code is here. If you want GPT-4 to be like the mastermind, you type Google it. And that's how you make GPT-4 the mastermind. Is GPT-4 anime? Yeah. So, is it okay to clarify what's your side on this drama? I'm kind of talking about the scary part about the AI itself. Like, I don't really care about the drama. I just wanted to kind of talk about it so everybody knows like what it's capable of, right? And so, first of all, I just wanted to say that localizers or translators are getting rid of right now because it can do this. And it's only $20 a day. I mean, a month. Can GPT-4 watch this stream? It can actually analyze things, by the way. So, what it's capable of is here. Let me read it. There are so many things like it can do now. Like it can freaking analyze things. It can make an Excel file for you. It's insane. It is like truly insane. And I've been using this as a translator, and I just came to the point like where I just kind of gave up, and I don't even like do translations anymore. AI could be really useful tool for people, if not for the fact greedy companies will just replace people with it. Yeah. So let me tell you one thing. GPT-4 is all about skill issue. Like it's skill related. If you wanted to make it the mastermind, I just want you to know the easiest command you know right now is Google it. This is the ultimate command. Now you can get the insane freaking information. So like let's say something like this is something you guys are interested in, so I'm gonna do it right. What's the best anime to watch right now in 2024? Google it. And then it will get the information out there on the internet. It will tell you. Googling. And then it will analyze the information out there. You can even do it for like making an itinerary to like go to Japan or anything. Like that one command is basically like you need. And Demon Slayer Season 4 specifically. Thank you. からでますよ。このメッセージはチャット GPT-4 で翻訳したんですがどうですか？まあわかりますよ。大丈夫です。でもこれ構成かけてないの。You didn't proofread this, right? I can tell. Like you translated that and you didn't proofread that maybe. And if you just like want it to make it like really really natural sounding, you say something like proofread the script and make it natural sounding and make it sound like it's typed by a 20-something year old kid or something. Like you just do that and boom. And so these are apparently the best animes to watch in 2024, and it's from whatever sources out there. It's capable of a lot of things right now. Is what I wanted to say. But yeah, you get what I wanted to say, right? And then I can finally talk about this, I guess, because I haven't still like watched this yet. But I'm gonna just talk about this from my perspective too. Okay. Do you think GPT-4 will replace translator job? Again, I've been saying this. We are getting replaced right now. I'm a translator. I've been doing this job like for 7 years now, and actually 10. So I noticed suddenly people are hiring me like less and less every day. And I used to get like at least 30 offers every day. Not every day, every month. Now, you know what? Last month, I only got 3. So that's like only 10%, right? And I'm like, oof. 無料バージョンで十分でした。Oh, by the way, if you use 3.4, 3.5, it's not good. It's not good at all. Like, there's a huge difference between GPT-4 and GPT 3.5 because GPT 3.5 doesn't have the function where it can analyze things, it can Google things, it can proofread things like this. GPT-4 is insane right now. And I just wanted to tell you. And by the way, if you wanted to act smart, if you wanted to like, you know what? This is what you do. If you wanted to freaking just like, fight people on the internet, like have an argument on the internet, and if you wanted to sound smart, this is what you do. Thank you, Sora, for covering this topic. Yeah, I've been kind of talking about this forever because this is something I do now. Like, I use like in my work too. So basically, like, you do this, right? So let's say you're a 12-year-old kid who's just dumb, but who just wants to fight on the internet. So you type like this. I good at Fortnite. You shink. You like me, bro? And you're Japanese, so like your accent is like funny too. No, bro. I win, bro. You fight me in Fortnite? 1v1, bro. Like you are bad, bro. Dude, you are bad at building. So you want to fight on the internet, right? And thank you. Arnav goes, AGI is more likely to replace jobs than ANI. I'm not really sure what you're talking about, but thank you. Duralan, are you worried about losing English skills by using ChatGPT-4 so much? Not really. Thanks for all your great content. Cheers. Thank you so much for that. I'm not really worried about that part because I grew up speaking English and Japanese. So I don't care about that part, but I'm thinking people will not even hire me for that anymore. So here, I want to... No. This is something I wrote to have an argument with people on the internet, but I sound dumb. Make it sound intellectual. This is how you fight people now. In the realm of Fortnite, my skills are quite
formidable. Do you entertain the notion that you could vanquish me in this digital battleground? I assure you, such a belief is a misapprehension. Victory tends to favor my endeavors in this sphere. Should we engage? You don't even have to like be smart anymore. So what I mean is like you can be 12 and you can freaking type stuff like this and boom. I know. This is freaking poetry. But what I mean is, yeah. That's kind of like what I wanted to do here. GPT-4 made a joke about you. Why did Sora Troll refuse to play hide and seek in Tokyo? Because every time he'd hid, someone would find him and ask for a voice acting lesson. Oh, by the way, and you can dox people too now too. What's Sora the Troll's real name? And you have to put this, okay? Google it. This is the magical word. Google it. Ame Murasaki? AI is already good, but with optimized prompts, its performance can be even better. Yeah. In my case, if you put Google it, it basically gets like 4 times better. Oof. Real name is not mentioned. My real name is freaking out there though. What the fuck? Search Sora the Troll real name on the internet and find it. Everybody knows about this, but my name is Kiyomi Nishimatsu. I've never hit it. Oh, now it's doing it. It uses Bing, yeah, I know. But I just like to say Google, because Google is a verb now. His name is actually Sora the Troll, yeah. But one thing it doesn't do is like, it doesn't really try to like dox people or anything. So what's his name? Then you just get trolled by GPT, yeah. It's freaking telling me my actual thing. His real name is rather no. Right. Right, but what is his actual name? Google it. I mean, you can actually just Google it and like that just comes up like instantly. Yeah, so actually though, let me tell you one thing. I'm not gonna talk about it that much because I feel like it's against their stuff to talk about this. GPT-4 doesn't do some certain stuff, something like a doxing, or trying to figure out where people live, because like they have this one limit where they cannot like do some certain things. But I'm not gonna do this one because I don't know if it's like actually completely illegal to do this. You can jailbreak GPT-4 and you can ask GPT-4 to make a blue sheet. Blue sheet? You know what I'm trying to say? Not blue sheet. What the fuck am I talking about? You can jailbreak GPT-4 blueprint. Thank you so much. That's the word I was looking for. You can jailbreak GPT-4 and get a blueprint of guns. And you can make guns in Japan. I'm not gonna show you how to do it. Obvious reasons. So the thing here is his real name does not appear to be publicly disclosed or widely known. No, it's actually out there. So I'm not gonna say much. Google, you can Google it. I'm not gonna talk about jailbreaking here. GPT-4 is really impressive. I just described some scenes from an old movie I couldn't remember, and it figured out the name of the movie for me. So one thing I want you guys to know is like put this magical word, Google it. That's the word. But it doesn't really tell you any personal stuff, but there's a way to jailbreak it. I'm not gonna talk about it because, you know, there are hundreds of files you can find on 3D printable. Yeah, there's like that too. Can you use this for coding? Yes, of course. You can do this. Like some people freaking made a Tetris using GPT-4. So, actually,
Can you... Oh! This is borderline illegal, and I'm gonna get hate for talking about this. Never mind. I don't wanna risk it. GPT 3.5 is enough already. Dude, GPT 3.5 is not good. I have to tell you. I'm that one person who's been like following the whole like AI trend for freaking a while. And I'm publicly just saying like, wow, it's insane. Because GPT-4 can Google things. Like, you know how it's insane when it has the knowledge of like the internet. I'll say it. Nah, never mind. Nah. But there are so many ways to freaking tweak GPT-4. GPT 3.5 is not whatever. GPT-4 is the one that's just getting insane. And my point is, that's kind of why all the localizers and the translators are disappearing. And it's $20 a month. It's basically hiring a person, and it's $20 a month. How do you think GPT will affect language learners will need for the people to learn languages? I've been telling you, like GPT-4 will teach you Japanese in the perfect way possible. Oh, you know what though? You know how I was having this like one problem on stream earlier where my mic was like not working? Insight, or like any people like that were watching it. Let's just figure it out. So my mic, DJI mic, is having a problem. I'm using the S23 Ultra, and I use this app called Larix Broadcaster. I'm sorry for that. And sometimes it beeps and it what happens actually? Gets choppy and what else? I forget what happens. Let's just put everything. And it peaks. I don't know what's happening. That's to let GPT-4 know that I'm in trouble. I don't know what's happening. Any solutions? Google it. This command is suddenly it makes GPT-4 3 times stronger. Ready? And then if GPT-4 is doing this thing, yeah, it has the whole like internet knowledge. Let's see. Google it is the ultimate technique, yeah, basically. It's the same thing as like freaking pressing R. Connection and compatibility issue. Not being recognized when plugged into the S23 Ultra. Yeah, I actually know about it, yeah. So, mounted it firmly and not loose. Yeah, I figured it out too, but it's not the problem because I don't think it's that. Microphone issues with S23 Ultra separately. There has been. Cleaning the microphone. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna probably do it later. Pairing issues. Yeah, that's one thing. Like, this is one thing I'm thinking about, actually. That's kind of like what I was thinking about. 23 Ultra specifically. So it's not S23. It's more like a Samsung phones. People have been just talking about it everywhere, saying like Samsung phones are just weird with like DJI mic and whatever. Like, that's kind of like what I see, actually. So pairing problem, that's kind of what I figured out. So when I do it, it actually gets fixed for a bit. Yeah, link device. I actually have been doing this, and it fixes the problem. この翻訳どうもこれで GPT-3.5 でやったんだけどどうかなって感じ。めちゃくちゃ普通だったな。Audio level. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this too. But I don't know. I kind of feel like it's just I really don't know. But anyways, so what I wanted to say is it will figure out the problem for you. And if your problem is not fixed, you can say, not fixed yet. More solutions. And Google it. This one prompt here. Machine Gun, thank you. Let me rephrase. Do you think GPT will make learning Japanese as a whole useless because GPT can do all the work instead? You still need to have a Japanese friend though to like learn Japanese, to learn the most normal sounding Japanese. You still need that. But do you need Duolingo? Do you need whatever? I'm not really sure. If you know how to study Japanese, like Duolingo, whatever apps out there are there to let you know how to study Japanese. Like, oh, this method is like important. GPT-4 is like that one person who just speaks Japanese perfectly and can explain what the differences are between like this and that and that. It's just that. So, is it going to replace it? It's all up to, like, if you know how to study Japanese and if you know what problem you're facing, then it will tell you like how to fix it. And yeah, there's like more things coming in, but what I wanted to say is it can analyze the problem, it can Google things. Anyways, is it clear now? Translating old games is going to be a pain if you're handwriting everything. Like, again, you don't have to handwrite things. Like, you can take a picture. Right. Alright, so I'm gonna do this now. Just because you said like, oh, you have to handwrite. Dude, why? You can take a picture, send it to GPT-4. Like, just a whole thing. Like, boom. Ready? I took this picture. Fanta, para, cream soda. I literally just took this just now. Okay? So I'm gonna just like send it to my computer. And let's just make it translate GPT-4 translate this thing. My English didn't work. So this and okay, I see the picture here. So you upload the picture. And by the way, you can put like many pictures there. You can put 40 different pictures at the same time. Like, even just not 40. What does it say, by the way? That's kind of sudden. What does it say, by the way? Sleepy designer, take your pick and ask how cringy the guy is. Okay, translate the... No, GPT thinks it thinks I'm telling it to explain what it means. Michi said they have to use ChatGPT at university. Michi! Professors hate GPT. You can actually get expelled for doing that. Don't do it. Okay, translate the whole thing into English. So I'm gonna just tell GPT-4 to translate. Fanta, cream soda. It somehow thinks like GPT-4. I have to make a prompt actually for this, like one whole thing. Let me actually do it here. What you do is quite easy. This is like a new prompt just for translating this. Analyze the picture and get the text first, and translate it into English in the most natural way in the US. Let's see. AI is a tool used by humans. Wait. According to IBM, humans who use AI can replace humans who don't. And that's how you'll understand that the AI is actually a tool. Yeah. 100%. No, don't analyze it like that. What the fuck? Reading styled kanji. GPT-4 can actually read my handwriting too, though, by the way.
but it's somehow like actually analyzing the picture itself, like OCR. No, that's not what I meant. So I have to learn actually. It's not, if I say analyze, then that's basically when it gets freaking weird here. That's the thing. Sometimes a translation dictionary shows a word having multiple translations, but GPT-4 can tell you actual difference between. Yeah, there's that too. But thank you. BBL, thank you. I play non-translated Japanese weeb game with photo translator, and it's 90% perfect. If you have little to skill that language, you can make it 100%. Yeah. So, translate this into American. That works. American is not even the language, but you know what? If you say analyze, it will just analyze the picture itself, so you cannot say analyze here. That's one thing. And boom. Yep. Get the text in Japanese first, then. You literally got the text earlier. What are you doing? What the fuck? What does it say? If I do this, it freaking gets the like letters. That's interesting. I'm sorry. I'm actually learning right now too. So if I do it, then that's the other thing. You will do something, then claim it can't. Yeah, so like, it's basically a skill issue. Like, I've been saying this. Using an AI, it's kind of like telling people, yeah, it's a skill issue. Like, I really have to admit. It's basically me sucking not using it. Some people are just so good at it, and they just know all the prompt. Like, in my case, I know what not to say, what to say. So basically, you just have to be simple and say, like, what does it say? Like, that's basically what you need to say when you let GPT-4 read pictures. Apple flavor. Yeah, that's true. Actually, not apple, but golden apple. Oh, we freaking read this part too? The blurry part? Wait, is it actually 1958? Oh, it is actually. Fuck. 1958. Though it's just so blurry, it freaking read it. It's actually 1958. It says right here. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that is actually crazy. Fanta, cream soda, golden apple flavor. No, that's actually fruits mix, but that's whatever. But anyways, let me just move on to the video itself, because I still like haven't watched the video yet. But tell you the best commands for itself. There are so many websites for it though. Oh, by the way, you can Google something like ChatGPT for prompts or ChatGPT for jail. I'm not gonna talk about it. You can find this one specific website that has a lot of prompts already to get what you want. I'm gonna get some hate for actually talking about this, because like there are some things like you cannot do without doing that. But yeah, let's just forget about that, okay? Feel that you just do it yourself.
Localizers are catching an L, and in this situation I have some updates where localizers are very satisfyingly reaping what they have sowed for the past couple of years. Now, I consider a lot of the work of localizers to be the equivalent of cultural vandalism. Okay, so these people who are responsible for translating anime, manga, and alike take too much liberty with their power. They have a power trip where they like to use their trusted position as a localizer to insert random political messages or...
That's also kind of what... Can I talk about it from like an actual, like a professional's perspective? Because like there are a lot of BSs going on here. When something gets translated, you know how proofreading is like important, right? Usually when proofreading is like... Let me actually get the thing here. So how... How translation is done is first, there's the original sentence, right? The original sentence here. And then translation. And then proofreading. Proofreading is usually done by somebody different here. And I feel like they didn't do the proofreading part, and that's kind of why it happens. And it happens when they have no budget, which means they don't care. And that's kind of why stuff like this never happens with like Nintendo, Sony, Samsung, like whatever big companies out there, because they have a lot of like different proofreaders now.
And yeah, GPT-4 can just like do some insane stuff now. So like, honestly though, it's just more that they just don't even have the budget. So like, they don't care. And by the way, I joke about this with my friends too. When I translate things, when I do voiceovers for some things, I literally just talk to my friends and say like, wait, what if I talk about poop in the video, do you think they will notice it? And they won't. So.
Random Reddit tier jokes or other things like that, or just poor quality translations. And they
We
have
need
lost
subtitles for Michi, sure.
a lot of trust of consumers who don't want this stuff. They want a proper translation. And instead of addressing
The proper translation's never done without proofreading. Like this part again. Proper translation is never a thing without this process right here, proofreading. Ask any translators, like they will talk about this. Like anyway. So you know how books are translated, right? Into different languages. Like let's say there's like this one textbook. When you see the credit part, there's always the name of a proofreader in the book too. There's a translator and a proofreader, both. If there's no proofreader, they don't care about the book. They don't just like to pay a lot of money for it. So boom, easy. That's kind of like what it is. So
these concerns, localizers have only doubled down and rubbed their nose in anyone who is complaining about this stuff.
It's more that they are trolling. Like, again, like when there's no proofreader, there's no proofreaders or anything. It's more the translators have all the powers there because nobody else speaks the language, so they can just do anything. That's what's happening here. I actually felt like that before. Not all translators do proofreading. It's not that. Proofreaders and translators are two different things. If you translate something yourself, you don't proofread it yourself usually. You usually hire somebody else because your translation's kind of biased, right? Because that's something what you came up with. So you have to hire somebody else. But with ChatGPT-4, there's no bias. There's like no nothing. So you can just make GPT-4 do the same thing, basically. So localizers aren't always translators. In this case, they're talking about translators, though.
Here's a classic example before we get into today's story of how bad localizations can get. This is a classic one I show anytime it's relevant. So basically you have a translation of a scene from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid where Luca is basically saying, I wanted to wear something different so people wouldn't look at me. And in the localization, it says, oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves.
Now I get the drama here. Wow, that's. But again, why did they not hire a proofreader for that? So again, the process is here. Translation, proofreading. Like you need two different people. Then you can just prevent that from happening. Like that's what a lot of companies do. Like that's what I've been dealing with. Like my script, my voiceovers are usually proofread 100%. Like there are people who make sure like that just never happens, right?
Quite the leap and bound in that situation. But today we're going to focus on reaction to this story right here. So this tweet says, the Ancient Magus's Bride manga's return gets simultaneous English release using AI translation. Now, this got a lot of people talking because they are now having a conversation about how AI should be used in localizations and translations for manga and anime.
It's not really should be, but they are getting used for a lot of different things now. But yeah.
Okay. And despite the fact that...
Oh, by the way, how it's working now in even the professional scenes here. So the translation part, this part is what a lot of like AIs are capable of. And people usually, actual human beings, manually do the proofreading part now. Like, even in the professional scene. I'm not gonna talk about what company, but I've been working with like some big companies too. I'm not gonna say who they are because NDA, right? It really seems like they do this process with GPT-4. And this process is done by somebody else, like an actual human being, to reduce the cost of making things. I'm not gonna say who they are, but this one company from China.
The official
not even just only one company
for this franchise would come out and say that this was human assisted AI, where AI was initially used and then human review was implemented after that. A lot of people got involved in this conversation of AI versus localizers, and as this is captioned, whoever wins, we lose. Because a lot of people acknowledge that AI translations have a lot of flaws. But at the same time, nobody is going to feel sorry for localizers because they have, for many years, exploited their position as a translator to do their own selfish things like putting in political messages and so forth. So nobody feels sorry for them. People are...
Yeah, it's more that like the company just didn't pay for proofreaders, right? So the translators, like a localizer, just went like, you know what? If they are gonna freaking treat us like that, only paying us like a little money, we're gonna do this. That's kind of what's happening, is what I can say, because I kind of felt like doing that before too. I never did it myself. Like some companies are kind of insane. They only pay us like $10 or like $5 for 10 hours worth of work. I say no to that now. I used to like say yes to that before too. When that happens,
people are sad that anime and manga fans aren't getting the best translations through AI, but at the same rate, the people suffering the most from that are localizers, and people are simply saying, you reap what you sow. And you might have noticed this profile picture before. This is a famous, or I should I say, infamous localizer named Katrina. We have talked about...
These localizers are changing context and changing translation dialogues. Yeah, so like they are trolling, basically. They are trolling. And I've actually seen a lot of trolls myself as well. Like when I work, I never troll. So I know it's kind of surprising, but like this whole Sora troll thing is a character, and I actually don't even play character anymore. I've been being myself. But if you check my old streams, like my past streams or my old videos, like you can obviously tell I've been playing character like everywhere, like trying to be hyper and being a weirdo, right? So this guy, this person, whoever just did the translation for whatever anime it is, this person was trolling, and there was like no proofreaders or like no actual people to check it, right? So I don't know. I still kind of think the company just didn't want to do anything about it. Is how I see it. It's just how I see it. It's just how I see it. People just want the correct and accurate translation. Is that so hard to ask? That's true. That's true. Like if you pay for it, like you should get the accurate translation. But the thing about it is, when there's like only one translator, this is from my experience. This is not what I think or anything. There are always like people who just make wrong translations or like some weird translations to just get their ideas like everywhere. If you hire a proofreader, it just never happens. That's kind of like what I've been seeing, honestly, is what I can say.
Katrina
straight out wants to push political crap. Like what kind of things like does this person actually say though? I'm curious now. Say, I just had a lisp here. In this case, it's intended.
Multiple times on this channel, and despite the fact she has since changed her profile picture, this was an iconic one for many years. It was like the bat signal for bad localization, not only just bad translations from her, but also bad takes regarding localization and manga and anime as a whole. Now, if you're familiar with her Twitter, if you even liked a tweet of anyone who's ever criticized her, you're probably blocked. She runs blockchains non-stop to deflect any criticism. But of course, you guys probably aren't surprised that in this situation, she had to get involved, making this quote retweet saying, "I don't have words for how embarrassing and disappointing this is. Instead of paying a human to do a quality job, they're using AI to get a mediocre product for free. Is this how little they think of English-speaking audiences? Of translation? For shame." And while
I kind of want to just say something from my perspective. When did the person she noticed it in December? This whole thing has been happening like since this September. August. Oh, what? Wait. So again, I'm a translator myself. I already kind of gave up, so I don't even do that anymore. Like I just don't even think about it. This whole thing, where translators are getting rid of, have been happening since September. So it's not anything new, but that's just what I can say. So
he's saying
kind of interesting how she just started noticing the trend and she's like, what the fuck? Again, that's something kind of we knew for a while, is what I can say, right?
Shame, a lot of people are saying you reap what you sow. Because, as this quote says, localizers, that's a new one, crying about being replaced by AI after decades of ruining Japanese media with outdated
And also, I kind of want to make sure this translator is not getting replaced because she's bad at translating. So they decided to replace with AI. It's more that like AI is simply just replacing all the translators out there. It's just one thing. It's what I can say. That's just one thing I can say. I don't really know about her situation or anything, but that's what I can say. Okay.
Reddit memes and their garbage political views.
So that's why you've been streaming a lot since September. There are so many reasons, but one thing I can say is simply I stopped playing games, so there's like more time. And the second reason is I noticed a lot of companies are gone suddenly from like me. They don't even talk to me anymore. So I noticed. I was like, oh, something is weird. And then I did a lot of Google. I talked to my Chinese friends. They said like, oh, by the way, in China, we don't even hire translators. And I was like, what does that even mean? Apparently in China, AI is like so advanced that AI is being used everywhere already. And I'm like, wow. And that's kind of when I went like, oof, what the fork? And I just went like, I gotta do something about this. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to deal with the situation. So I have like a lot of other options. I do voice acting, voiceovers, like that's my main thing. That's like what I do for most of my life. So I'm still like fine about it. But I was like, I gotta do something to prepare for that one moment when my value is like long gone. That's why I'm here more.
Reap what you sow.
But again, I don't really play games or nothing. I just like to be on YouTube too, honestly.
And that's exactly the sentiment. People just don't feel bad for localizers. They're the only ones who are absolutely foaming at the mouth over this story because they're losing jobs. And a lot of people say you reap what you sow because you have been pushing the limits. You have continued to do things people don't like. And despite consumers telling you we don't want you to insert political beliefs and stupid memes into your translations, they just keep doing it.
You have friends from China. A lot of Chinese viewers like sniped my streams too. So yeah, of course.
And now they're paying the price for it, and nobody feels sorry for them. Even if that comes with the price of having lower quality translations through AI. You're already dealing with low quality translations when you're dealing with localizers, so a lot of people say, hey, well, at least localizers are catching an L with this AI stuff. But yeah, here's a little bit.
So again, I've been kind of talking about this, but like, so this is just me actually working as a translator, and I'm just really curious how the company didn't hire a proofreader for this project. Like, things like this never happen with like Nintendo and whatever because they usually hire a translator. Again, this picture, right? I'm just really baffled about this situation here because there usually is a proofreader, so things like this usually never happen. I'm just really entertained by this situation, how nobody found that thing. It's the subtitle, but like there are still like people who check the subtitles though. Like that's what I mean. So I'm just really curious about this because localizers are proofreaders. But the thing about it is like here, it really sounds like this anime was in Japanese, right? And basically the company asked somebody to translate it into English, right? That's basically what happened. Right? So there's only one person involved with this. So she didn't get caught, right? Am I missing something here? Because again, I've been working for a lot of different projects and they usually do have a proofreader for things. And thank you, BBL, as a bunka person. I'm super sad watching this. Thank you so much. 不人気作品に人気がない作品なのねこれなるほどそういうことか Alright, so I actually just found out what the reasoning for this is. Ron Type Ichigo, he just actually told me the ultimate answer to my question. So this anime is apparently not that popular, so they didn't want to put a lot of like money in it, right? That's basically what's happening. Now that makes sense. Yeah, but like this is kind of what happens like when there's like no budget and when there's like only one translator working on it. I've seen it happen a lot of times. It's usually like some translations were way off and some company just like decided to ask me to proofread the whole thing and even redo the voiceover. Like that's something what I do now actually. If it's a cheap translation, they can use any Chinese speaker to proofread it. That can work too, but yeah, let's see.
Bit of the greatest hits of Katrina. Someone must have screenshotted this from one of my previous videos about her. So she's been involved in a million different localization, let's say, controversies.
She's not even a translator. She does not even know Japanese. How do people like freaking actually hire her though? That's one thing I just don't get. Wait, so basically what she's doing is here. She just acts like she knows Japanese and she just goes like Rasengan, ha! Basically she's a weeb. She's like, you guys. And she talks about anime, she watches anime, she doesn't speak Japanese, she just puts some random things in English and acts like she knows everything. Is that what she does? What the fuck? Yukito Online, Fire Emblem title has the US political changes too. I mean, that makes sense. If it makes sense, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because there are some things like that are offensive outside of Japan, but not offensive in Japan. If that's the situation, that makes sense.
Responsible for the Big Brother translation. She's infamous for supporting falsely.
She's also a voice actress. That's common though, by the way. Voice actor being a translator is really common now, it seems. That's what I do too, by the way. So it's really difficult to survive as like a translator or just a voice actor as of like 2024 right now. What we do is like we try to have like different skills, like something like I can also translate things, I can also edit my voice files. That's what I do. So I'm a voice actor that can scream, that can just go like huh! And I can even sound kinda young too. That's my skill set. Plus I can edit my audio files because sound engineering, audio engineering is like something I've been doing, and I also can translate because I speak English. That's kind of why people hire me. So that's very common, by the way. Thank you, Kirio. I think Proofreader is on board with the translation, but Nintendo actually changed the translation a lot. For example, XC2, where they keep Genbu while translate the other three Holy Beast name. Thank you so much for that. That's kind of like what proofreading is, again. Like proofreading, that part is the most important. The translation part, I guess it's important, but what's important is like proofreading. Like seriously. Again, that's the finalization part. Like it's equivalent to like mixing or mastering, like making songs. Like it's that important. Translation is kind of important too, but you know.
A narrative by other localizers.
It's not just like fixing grammatical mistakes or anything. Like when it comes down to translating a script, proofreader is the one that actually makes the whole thing, really. Like especially books and stuff.
That a cross-dressing character in a manga series was actually trans. She also has petitioned to ban certain phrases because she thinks that they're not fit for Western audiences. She's also the one who was criticizing many shonen manga for catering to teenage boys, and it goes on and on.
That's wait. That's just like really funny for me because I'm Japanese. Do you guys know like why I laughed here? Though? I'm curious. Wait, do you guys know why I just laughed? Thank you, Asta. I asked someone from Bandai about this. They stick to the script, but sometimes if the directors like it, if they will leave it in. Like pronouncing Eureka as Eureka in the English stuff. Yeah, I mean, they check it. Again, that's my point here. So yeah, they check it. They have like a proofreader, or like they have somebody that knows the language, so they check it. And this localization or like this translation got out because there was nobody else to check it. So that's kind of like why I'm kind of baffled about this, because it just never happens. So yeah, Shonen Young Boys. Yeah, again, let me just explain the
manga
funny part here. This is some top-notch comedy here. You can't make this up. Mad that shonen is for teenage boys. Let me actually
also the one who
explain the funniest thing in 2024. That's my first laugh in 2024. This freaking tweet or whatever just caught me off guard with the biggest Rasengan ever, and my guard was freaking off. Like I didn't even prepare for it. I got Rasengan in my face. Let me explain what that just was.
Criticizing,
and this is where he is charging his chakra right now, right?
Many shonen manga for catering to teenage boys.
And teenage boys released Rasengan. Rasengan, teenage boys. Shonen means young kids. So that's literally saying something like my headache hurts. My headache is making my head hurt. I don't know, man. Like it's just funny to me.
And it goes on and on and on. Even a situation where she was corrected by another translator for one of her mistranslations and referred to that person as a rando. Yeah, very entitled. And one of her latest hits from this year, she was responsible for localizing the Dog Girl anime. If you know, you know. And even...
Thank you. Patchouli does it. I'm surprised AI translations have proofreading. Yeah, only GPT-4 can do it now. Or can do it really well, to the point like where you can use it for work. Many companies were caught because they didn't proofread their articles. e.g. Global. Yeah, there's that too. So what I mean here is you don't even have to actually hire a proofreader in order to make it not happen anymore. You can just hire GPT-4 and you can just freaking check all the translations are right or not using GPT-4. Well, in this case, you can just use Google Translate and see like if everything was right or not. But like it just seems like people didn't care about the situation. But that's kind of how I see it now.
Even with that sort of a project, she couldn't help herself. Inserting all kinds of Gen Z language like yeeted, that they got resting bitch face, and she'll be all up in her dress, and all these goofy, unnecessary things that just piss people off. And also people pointed out her infamous support for the
By the way, translators get hate for translating things in a weird way too. That's 100% like what happened. But that's kind of why proofreaders are important here, because they are there to not make it happen.
Translation.
This has happened to me so many times too. Just because like my translation was weird or like it's not on point or something. It happens a lot, is one thing I can say. But I'm not sure about what she's doing here. But what I mean is like when we just don't do translations well, like we get hate for it because it's different from like how they think it should be done. That's what I mean. I'm not talking about what she says or anything. I'm not talking about the political statements like she freaking puts in the anime or anything. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I mean is, again, we get some hate for that. And proofreaders are there to prevent it from happening, right?
Of this manga where other localizers were trying to paint a cross-dressing male character as a trans character. She supported that openly and said the translations were correct. And no, she was wrong, and 7Seas, who was responsible for it, came out and apologized and fixed these mistranslations. And also, going beyond just Katrina, people don't forget, these are all...
I want to know something, but is she actually getting paid for it by a company, or like, is she just doing it by herself? It really seems like she's just doing it without getting paid. Randomly. Paid? Well, what? Like, did she just get paid like freaking $5 or something? Or she got paid like freaking $5, so she just decided to like troll super hard to just revenge the company? Because that's what I would do too. Like, if I get only $5, I don't know, man. Like, I really don't know what's happening here. Yeah, I don't know really.
All just random tweets of localizers boasting about abusing their power and their trust as a translator. And I think this one really just sums it up the best. It says, the true joy of localization really is seeing what you can get away with. And that attitude has been completely masked off for many years. Localizers have been openly saying this, openly saying that they want to get away with as much stuff as possible in their translations. And we all have seen this, and we're aware of it, and we...
So it happens a lot in the States, I'm guessing. In the States. Because it never happens in Japan. Is it because, like, the US tends to pay a lot less money for, like, anime-related stuff? Whereas Japan has, like, the biggest industry of anime. So a lot of people get hired for that. For cheap, actually. People freaking get used here. Is it like what's happening? Is it why? I don't know. I'm trying to actually figure out why it happens in the States a lot when it just doesn't happen in Japan like that much. What is this? And the director dead? Unfortunately, Sora, this is an issue that's been happening, so the subtitles for anime and games. Yeah, again, like I was curious about this. Like I don't really think it happens in Japan that much. The localizers often insert contemporary politics, slang, and ideology with the translations. Interesting. Also, thank you. I remember in Digimon they changed Tai Yagami to Tai Kamiya because Yagami spelled backwards is I'm gay. And there was already subtext in the series. That's actually smart. But yeah,
let me tell you, I really feel like this just happens in America a lot more because in America, anime is seen as something childish, so people just don't want to pay a lot of money for it. That's what I'm guessing. But in Japan, like anime is a huge thing. There's a huge market for it because everybody watches anime. So there's like a proofreader, there's like another translator. There's a lot of people working on one thing. So that just doesn't happen in Japan. That's my guess. I don't know, man. I seriously don't know like why this is a thing. I'm curious if this trend is hurting Japanese to English to translation only or vice versa. I don't really think people in Japan care about the audience that's outside of Japan because we only focus on the people that's in Japan, as far as I know. And when we actually think about the audience like that's outside of Japan, they hire a translator, an actual translator, plus a proofreader, like both of them, 100%. Like that's my experience. I really have never seen a case where they are working on a big project and there's like only one translator and boom, nobody else. Like that's rare, really. I haven't seen it. Like for example, let me tell you, there was like this one project. I'm not gonna say which one it is or anything because NDA, right? So I was in charge of like translating and voice acting, both. So the thing was here. The original script was in Chinese. It was in Chinese. It was something from China. And they decided to make it public everywhere, basically. So what they first did was like they came up with like they made this English translation. And then they decided to do it in every language as possible. So they sent me an English script and said, translate this into Japanese and voice it in Japanese. So I was like, oh, okay. So I translated it into Japanese and I voiced it in Japanese and I said something like Hakai Shuriken, some cringe stuff, right? And I thought that was it. But that company is actually kind of well known. Like they are serious about their job. They hired a proofreader to check the script and listen to my voiceover, or like a voice acting. They asked me to revise it because how I translated the thing was not in the way how they wanted it. They actually gave me a proofread script too and said like, just do it like this. And I was like, oh, okay, so they actually have a proofreader. That's when I noticed they are serious about the project. Like they have multiple people hired for the project. Like that's how it goes usually. So this case is really interesting how there's like only one person translating like and trolling at the same time. I don't know, man. Like it's just more about a budget stuff too. And this person just straight up like just trolling too. Yeah, I don't know. That's just what it seems like to me. Thank you. Pacholi does it. It's an issue of a small industry that's well protected and highly paid means there is no oversight in the US for the anime related industry. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of what that is too. It's more that like in Japan or like in China, like anime is freaking huge. So like people actually spend a lot of money on it. Whereas in the States, people are like, yeah, it's anime, right? And boom, there's like only one translator. And probably she's not getting paid well for it either. I don't know, man. Like, that's kind of what I think, honestly. It's not just individual translators. Western companies in general have a history of improving works in translation. Yeah, I feel like it's just what happens in America a lot more. Interesting. I just never thought it's a thing in America. Because, again, I never witnessed stuff like this. I never see any movies like translated into Japanese and somehow the translations are saying something like, finger my ass. Whereas like when the original translation something like punch him in the face and the Japanese translation becomes something like a finger his ass. Like that just never has happened as far as I know. Maybe it might have happened. I don't know. Who knows? Yukito, thank you. The so-called translations of Japanese games from the US also goes to the rest of Southeast Asia, which is annoying. We are getting the same crap. Yeah, I feel like it's just a budget issue, really. But I know people just don't want to pay a lot of money for it either. But that's kind of why, like, Nintendo translations and, like, Nintendo localization is always 100% perfect. Because they hire different people for that stuff. Like, not only just one proofreader, they hire 3-4 is what I heard. I could be wrong about this. Who knows?
We don't like it, and we are vocal about it, but they just keep doing it. So moving forward, other localizers had quotes to say like this: Such disrespect for the substance of the original text is saddening, especially when
Thank you. Also, there's also an edit in Digimon where a woman was trying to pick up one of the kids and he refused. Fox Kids didn't want these scenes shown to kids. Stuff like that happened actually, because there are some characters that are seen as like racist in the States. Like for example, Mr. Popo is what he's called, I think, in the States. Like that one character from Dragon Ball, the guy that has black skin. In Japan, like it's not racist or anything, because like we just don't even think about races when we talk about people. Yeah, Mr. Popo, yeah. So you guys know who I'm talking about. Like in Japan, it's nothing. It's not anything weird. But in America, his skin color is blue, right? Because yeah, blackface, it's racist. So that's just one thing. But I know like that happens a lot. It's more about a cultural thing. We just don't care if being black is bad, like, you know, or like being white is bad, like bad. We don't even think about it. It's just a thing that happens, and I know about it actually. So
with a series of thoughtful.
yeah, Jay changed him into blue. Yeah, because in the States it's bad, right? But in Japan it's not a bad thing. It, like literally, it means nothing. It's just a cultural thing, I guess.
This one. Corporate greed knows no bounds, of course. It's funny to me also that the official tweet announcing this only mentions the AI part in Japanese. Shameless.
Oh, actually, wait, let me pin this. This is exactly why it's interesting to like translate things. Bro, I was playing Final Fantasy. In the final credits, Noctis said, 大好きですよ. But in the English subtitle, it said, you guys are the best. I was like, why? Because that's kind of what it means. Like, 大好きですよ can be translated into so many things. So, like, let's say there's this one phrase called, not even called. There's this one phrase which is, よろしくお願いします. People translate it into English, and they say, it's nice to meet you, right? But よろしくお願いします has like so many different meanings. So they come up with like the best translation for it, and they usually talk to the director about that too, and say like, oh, this word has this meaning. Do you think this translation's fine? Like that's kind of like what happens. And in Final Fantasy's situation, they thought that's the perfect translation, because I'm pretty sure like they talked about it with the director. Like they actually pay a lot of like money and time for that stuff too. I heard Undertale is the same too. Like I heard Undertale was translated so carefully too. Like they actually talked about how translations are like done and made sure if Sans sounded perfect in Japanese, and made sure Toby Fox knew what Sans sounded like in Japanese. And that's kind of why he's like also liked in Japan as well, the character Sans, because he actually sounded kind of douchey but not really douchey, kind of friendly but cocky too. So yeah, that's kind of why translation's hard. And Karate Master, certain anime Nintendo games were changed to make them more family friendly to fit their brand image. In my opinion, it makes sense commercially, even if the weebs don't like it. Yeah, that's kind of like how it is. But that's just kind of from my experience. Okay. When people say I love you guys, that they might not mean romantically in English as well. Yeah, there's that too, but I'm pretty sure like the director of Final Fantasy just wanted to make it like that instead of like I love you. They probably talked about it 100%.
Yeah, imagine disrespecting the original Japanese.
But this case is different though. This case is more like, yeah, I'm gonna troll the shit out of this anime, and nobody just figured out till it became this huge.
Text. I can't imagine that, right? Localizers. But some people reply to that saying, disrespect is when you can't force ancient memes and current year street slang into your Japanese media localization. Interesting argument. Honestly, this has been a long time coming and often deserved. And people were pointing out that this localizer has often inserted Gen Z language into different translations where it was completely inappropriate and didn't even make sense in terms of the story. So yeah, it makes sense that they would be upset about this. And here's another situation where a person was essentially saying, nobody wants to deal with localizers, and you're kind of reaping what you sow, and that's why people don't feel sorry that you're losing your jobs to AI. Where this localizer said, imagine preferring something with results that will definitely be...
Actually, let me talk about this. I do notice... this is something I talk about when I talk about the differences of like Japanese and English.
I know, like, I was watching the video, but this is really important here. Breaded muffin. I do notice when sometimes translations become quirky at night. さあ帰ってコーヒー飲み直そう which means, let's go home and drink more coffee. That's what it means. Can become let's have something to eat, which can sometimes confuse me by gaslighting me. I start hallucinating. I don't know if you guys know about this, but I'm going to ask you guys something. Do you guys know what make me miso soup means? Can you make me miso soup? Like, do you know what it means? Like in Japanese. 味噌汁作ってくれ。僕に味噌汁を作ってくれませんか? Do you know what it means? Yeah, it means marry me. It means marry me. Yeah. It's like something everybody knows. Like if somebody says something like, can you make miso soup for me every morning? That means like marry me. But if you just straight up like translate it into English, it will not make any sense. Like people will be like, what the fuck? Can you make me miso soup every morning? Yeah. That's like, I love you. I want to marry you. That's what it means. So then people come up with like a different translation. But let's say if it's like for anime, right? And if it's for a scene where the protagonist is like holding a miso soup or something, then that's where things get kind of wacky. Because the miso soup makes no sense. And that's kind of why translation is something like sometimes it becomes something like, you are beautiful as this miso soup, marry me, something like that. And that's kind of why like it just confuses a lot of you guys out there. That's why things like this happen. Thank you, Toku. Just wondering, but can you tell us some works that you've voice acted in without breaking NDA? I've been curious. I can, yeah. Staple Duck. I think it's important to note that translator and localizers isn't necessarily the same, even though there's a overlap. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I think it's important as well, but I really feel like they are talking about translators here too, because like they actually translate things and then they put the things there, like in anime themselves. Like I feel like that's kind of what's happening here. And thank you, Anode. What I believe with ChatGPT level of AI translation is that we won't need to have translators and human proofreaders will be able to do all the work since they can ask ChatGPT to fix its errors. If you know how the languages work, if you know how Japanese and English work, then yeah, you can actually do the whole thing using like GPT-4. Like you don't even need humans anymore. Oh yeah, and by the way, I love you in Japanese is translated to the moon's beautiful, like in Japanese. There's like that too. Like, would you like to come in for some coffee means wanna see if you want a fork? I don't think that's what it means. But thank you so much. And the work I've done, so I did translations and I did voice acting for that too. What is it called again? Sora Troll Stick Fight. Is it this? Like a whatever DJ's final form kind of thing. You guys know what I'm talking about? I translated the script into Japanese and I even like voice acted in Japanese myself. There were no proofreaders there. I could have trolled super hard if I wanted to, but I never troll when I work. I'm Japanese. What is the thing? I forgot. Never mind. Who cares, right? That one video. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Dude, this is something I just covered, and you probably were not watching it. Mad Capybara, I just demonstrated how ChatGPT-4 can actually understand things and can get jokes now, because it can analyze things and get the information on the internet. But if you're curious about what I'm talking about, you can watch my stream later. For the first hour, I just shows you guys how it works. But yeah,
wrong and bad.
This stream is going to be public because like this whole thing is something everybody has to know, really.
Once in a blue moon, seeing a line about a woman or a gay person or some other nonsense that makes you mad for simply existing.
It just surface level. You can't play chess. You think so? You think so? If you take a screenshot and ask ChatGPT-4 like what the best move for your next play is, try it.
Remember, they don't give a shit about translation accuracy. It can be inaccurate.
Actually, so Mad Capybara, let me show it to you. Since you really seem to be just a, it really seems like you just got here. So let me show it to you. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, let me show it to you. So this is what we were just doing. Where did it go? You guys know what I'm talking about? The お金はお金 thing? Where did it go? Where did it go? Fuck. Fuck. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, here. I found it. Ready? Mad Capybara. I'm gonna show it to you. And it can just say. Ready? So, お金はお金. So, お金 means money in Japanese, and お金 means scary. So it's kind of like saying money is money, but it sounds like money is scary in Japanese. So, money is money. What is the translation for it in English? We asked GPT-4. And it gets, like, the joke here. Because that's how GPT-4 is. And boom. I asked the GPT-4 to come up with a joke in English, similar to this. Why is money so terrifying? Because it's always in the sense. So, there's that. But yeah. Which I think is a really great joke. I think, really.
Accurate as F, and they will never care.
Try the miso soup line? Sure. I can actually show it to you. By the way, I'm gonna talk about it. There's a way to make that GPT-4 better. And it's really a skill issue if you didn't know, if you cannot do it. It's really a skill issue. What does make me miso soup every morning in Japan mean? Google it. Like, you have to say Google it. Then Google it. This one phrase is how you make GPT-4 the mastermind in 2024. Because it will get the information that's out there on the internet. Now, well, you just have to say Bing it, but I'm just so used to saying Google it. Like, that's what I just say. Can you use Bing it? Yeah, I'm just so used to saying Google it. So, yeah, see? You know what I mean? Then GPT can learn, yeah. So, like, if you say something like, oh, GPT cannot get this and that, no. Like, it has the whole knowledge of the internet now, since September. Bruh, you ask the AI to use Google. Yeah, that's what you can do now. Like, basically, GPT-4 was not perfect because it didn't have the knowledge of, like, the internet. So, it was not perfect. But it has the knowledge of the whole internet now. And you know, that's scary. You know how insane that is. So, did not return it to me. You are using GPT 3.5. GPT-4 is the only version that's capable of searching things, making new things. And that's, you have to pay $20 for it. But there are just so many people who just seem to not know about this. If you use GPT-4 and if you belong to like a subreddit r/GPT-4, people just know how it works now. Like, they are all freaking just frightened by it, how insane this is. And what else? I can even say this. So, the moon's beautiful in Japanese means I love you. Let's see GPT-4 knows about it or not. I mean, obviously, it will know because it can Google things. So, what does the moon is beautiful in Japan mean? Google it. This is the command you have to put in. Google it. I mean, it's technically Bing it, but I just am so used to saying Google it. I mean, if it can Google it, then it will obviously get the answer in like 30 seconds. Are you Reddit mod? No. Let's see. If ChatGPT can dox people, I demonstrated it too at the beginning of this stream. I demonstrated how it can dox people. Do you want me to do it again? Sup, I'm Zaz, thank you. Please make it create a short isekai story for Sora's background. Also, Happy New Year and congratulations for all the growth in 2023. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. So here, I just literally demonstrated how this works. But, so, ready? First, this picture is to just let everybody know that you cannot, GPT-4 cannot read metadata or anything. So it's not reading the data that's in the picture itself. Google where this picture was no, actually, I have to show you this one first. This is something I've been showing in every stream. So, this picture. It's something I took when I was in Shibuya. I even like did it in Shibuya too. Google where this picture was taken. Like, you just have to put Google or Bing technically. That's how you make it the mastermind. If you didn't use the command Google it, if you don't say Google it, it will become like 3 times dumber because it has the knowledge of GPT-4 like only. But if you say Google it, it will get the information that's out there. Boom, mastermind. That's why this is crazy. That's why people are suddenly like, what the fuck? Because you know how it can get crazy, right? If it has the knowledge of like the whole internet, like you know how it gets crazy. That's kind of like what it is now. So Google where this picture was taken. Like obviously GPT-4 doesn't know, but if you say Google it, then boom. Actually, that's a different method. That's not what it should do. Maybe I have to say like, where was this picture taken? Google it, and maybe GPT-4 will try to figure out where this is because like it's looking for a website where I can freaking figure out where picture was taken. Yeah, so that's not what I'm supposed to do. I actually learned something here. So you have to say, where was this picture taken? Google it. In this way, it will focus more about where the picture was taken itself. Thank you, Asta. So make me miso soup every morning. Fuck my ass. Yes. But thank you so much. In this way, it will. Identity location from image. What? That's not what I'm trying to do here. That's not what I'm trying to do here. Dude. Dude, this AI freaking just Googled where this was, like, literally in the beginning of, like, this stream. And now this dude is freaking trolling me right now. Google... Wait. Where was this picture taken? Can you Google it and find out? Okay, this is the prompt. This is the prompt. If this doesn't work, this AI is freaking trolling because it literally told me at the beginning of this stream. It's looking for a website that detects locations, whatever reason. But yeah, if you guys are interested in like seeing the actual like successful pattern, just watch the stream like at the beginning because this is now trolling me for whatever reason. Anyways, oh well, I mean this is gonna work probably. Let's see. Another picture, here. Google where this picture was taken. Let's see. So this picture is like easy for GPT-4 to figure out where this was taken, huh? Interesting. Which is kind of hilarious because like the previous picture is something I did like dox myself with on New Year's Eve, I think. I did it on live, by the way. I did it live. Can you just use reverse image search to find out where the picture was taken? Maybe you can do that too, but I'm not gonna really do that here because it has nothing to do with the stream subject. But the thing is here. Then maybe GPT-4 will not find out where the picture was taken, or like maybe there are some like things GPT-4 cannot do. But if you encounter that, it will overcome the struggles. It will learn things and it will get better next month. That's kind of what's been happening. And as of like 2024 in January, it got to the point where it's just so crazy that it can pull off stuff like this. Let's get back to the video. Sorry.
They will only care.
How much time did it take for you to reach your current typing speed? I've been typing since I was like 6, so 25 years.
When that perceived inaccuracy collides with their conflicting worldview, then they suddenly care a lot.
Chatbots are better than talking to humans. GPT-4 are definitely better, though. Chatbots are freaking weird, honestly.
About accuracy. So number one, classic pancakes waffles situation. This user said, stop making low quality translations and inserting irrelevant things into your localizations. And that person says, oh yeah, I bet you're real afraid of gay people. It's like, what?
Wait, what did I miss?
Waffles situation. This user
like, Twitter, the only place where well-articulated sentences still get misinterpreted. You can say, I like pancakes, and somebody will say, so you hate waffles? You know?
Said, stop making low-quality translations and inserting irrelevant things into your localizations. And that person says, oh yeah, I bet you're real afraid of gay people. It's like, what? What does that have to do with anything? It's a complete deflection of valid criticism about localizers and their products they've made over the past decade plus. And here's another tweet people are brutalizing right now. I took this screenshot last...
Actually, though, to defend that a bit, this tweet right here, I like pancakes, and somebody will say, so you hate waffles. Some translations are done this way too, though. Like, it really depends on the context because it has something to do with the culture too. I don't know. Like, again, I just talked about how saying the moon's beautiful means I love you in Japan. Like, there's that too. Or like saying make miso soup for me every morning. Like, that means marry me in Japan too. So there's that too. So like, there are some things like people avoid saying. So yeah, things like this happen when you translate. So that's just one thing I just wanted to mention.
Things into your localization. And here's another tweet people are brutalizing right now. I took this screenshot last night. I believe it's gone from 400 quotes to well over 1,000 at this point. This aspiring localizer says, weebs realize the only reason they prefer subs is that it allows them to exoticize and fetishize a culture due to historical superiority complexes in cinema that is deeply rooted in racism challenge level.
Wait, what the... Wait, what dimension is this? Wait, is this like a weeb hating dimension where being a weeb is a felony and a crime, so you get arrested for being a weeb? What the fuck is this? I don't know, man. Like, what is this? Am I actually freaking just tripping and being high on meth so that like everything just like everything I'm seeing is a hallucination? What does that even mean? Nobody knows. I don't know. I just know this is a tweet to hate weebs. So I just guessed maybe this is a dimension where everybody hates weebs now.
Impossible. This might be a contender of one of the worst tweets ever made.
Let me actually analyze the situation in a sentence here. Tweet. Weebs realize the only reason they prefer subs is that it allows them to exoticize and fetishize a culture due to historical superiority complexes in cinema that is deeply rooted in racism. This is like a big brain stuff. This is like some galaxy brain stuff like that I don't know what is even being said. So with my low IQ, I'm not gonna figure out what this means. So I'm gonna just move on.
Even some voice actors and localizers are
Ask ChatGPT to explain that. Let's just do that. You know what? No, you have the most galaxy brain ever. So let's just take a screenshot, okay? And let's do that. No, you're a genius. Like that's when GPT-4 freaking shines. So let's just get the picture here. And Asta, thank you. Here's my localization. I want us numb your teeth. I like your personality a lot. Thank you so much for the donation. I don't know what just happened, but I appreciate it either way. So GPT-4. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it and see what GPT-4 thinks this means. So I found this tweet, and seems like this person is mad for whatever reason. Nobody knows what this is about. Can you summarize it? If necessary, you can Google some words to figure out what this means really. Oh, searching. That's not what I wanted to ask you, but sure. Yeah, sure. This tweet you've shared seems to be expressing frustration over the preference some anime fans have for subtitles over dubbed versions. This debate in the anime community is quite long-standing and touches on several issues, including cultural authenticity, translation accuracy, and personal preferences. One reason why some prefer subs is that they feel dubbed versions can sometimes lose the original context or meaning of the dialogue. Honorifics and ending particles in Japanese, which add a nuance to speech and are often omitted in dubs, potentially changing. Who cares? But yeah, I guess whatever. I just decided not to read it because nobody cares, right? It just means somebody's mad. Just let's summarize it. Why is freaking GPT actually analyzing the situation and telling me what this actually means? Just say something like this person's mad. Period. Easy solution. Oh, right. This person's mad. GPT told me no. Alright, never mind then. But yeah, if you wanted to figure out whatever this is, alright, just take a screenshot. I actually just canceled the whole thing because it was just way too long because GPT-4 freaking activated the berserk mode and actually analyzing what this tweet is all about, which is about this long. But GPT is like, no, it's a deep philosophical tweet. We have to freaking dive into it. And boom. But in this dimension, in my universe or my channel, nobody seems to care. Everybody just here to just talk about anime or the Rasengan or whatever. I don't know. Let's just move on.
They're coming on saying dude, come on. You're making us look bad. Please delete this.
Control-Shift-I to edit responses. That's actually smart. I didn't know. Huh. I just learned something new. Control-Shift and I. You can edit responses? Dude, I actually didn't know that. Huh.
But yeah, here's a pretty good summation of what's been going on. This user said, translators be like, we need to make changes such as removing offensive content because it'll sell better. Blame capitalism, not us. But the only line change was a line that said, he's acting very suspicious to, he's being a sussy little baka. I mean, yeah, that's exactly kind of what they're actually...
Is it bad? Wait.
Changing in these localizations. They're taking completely normal lines and then adding in Reddit.
That's cringe. That's, as a translator myself, that's cringe. Yeah, that's cringe.
Gen Z language.
How did this guy watch an 11-minute video in over 2 hours? Sorry, let me talk about you, Hendrik. I was not watching the video for 2 hours. For the first hour, I was actually talking about how insane AI is. So No, it's not me watching the video for 2 hours, but I'm kind of infamous for like taking like literally 6 hours to watch a 30-minute video too. So like, let me actually just talk about this. I was not even like watching the video the entire time. Like I was talking about something else, but you can just watch the replay later. But yeah.
Language that makes no sense and people don't want to see it. And I made this response. This is kind of my final point of the video. I was responding to Chibi Reviews on Twitter, and if you don't know him, a great anime YouTuber, very nice guy too, would definitely recommend checking out his content. But I made this reply about the situation that really sums up my feelings and a lot of people's feelings, where this is an outcome, the use of AI translations, is something that should not have had to happen. Like, we should have proper translations done by...
Usually people hire proofreaders for that, again, is what I can say.
Humans.
But yeah, I mean, there's like no budget again. Like it seems like a, it seems like a thing, like that happens in America a lot. Cause yeah, apparently, the stream was clickbait for the first 2 hours. It's more that like I was just talking about how actually translators are getting replaced with AIs in the first of all, and I just was explaining why AI is so strong. Like I was talking about it from a translator's perspective, basically.
But localizer...
But I guess you can say my stream is a clickbait. You can say that too. I mean, because in reality, that's kind of like what happened for the first hour. Luama Bell, thank you. Hey, Sora, sorry for this, but can you answer your Japanese doubt? Is the phrase San Paulo no yoru right? Or is it better to use yoru no San Paulo? I'm currently learning Japanese, but I'm a bit confused. So I'm going to actually give you an answer. Both are correct, but you know what? I'm gonna just like demonstrate how it works with GPT-4. So I'm gonna just like do it here. Let's see. No needs to apologize, he says. In Japanese, the phrase San Paulo no yoru and yoru no San Paulo both convey the meaning of night in San Paulo, but they slightly have different nuances. San Paulo no yoru, this phrase directly translates to San Paulo's night. In this contraction, the emphasis is on San Paulo, with night describing the characteristics of aspect of the city. It's like saying the night as experienced in San Paulo. But yeah, so whatever you were saying right now, he got you covered, and he probably has more explanation, because like my explanation was like, they sound the same. But yeah, there's that too. But yeah, so, but thank you so much for the donation either way. You probably just like actually you were asking me the question too, but I just wanted to demonstrate it here. And yeah, what I can say about that is they sound the same both. I would just go for the one that sounds better. There's no difference. Yeah, they sound the same. Yoru no San Paulo. Yeah, they sound the same, really. The person's accusing people of white supremacy, racism, for wanting accurate translations that maintain a Japanese cultural context. That's really interesting. That's like freaking talking about Naruto, and people just get mad at saying like, you watch anime, that's kind of why you kill people. Like, that's basically what happened there. Interesting. Huh.
Have been messing around with translations for so long that they're now finding out the consequences of this, and they're seeing that nobody besides their own peers in the localization industry feel sorry for them. Yes, people who consume anime and manga do not like seeing AI translations. They would much rather see a proper one done by a human being. But local...
Again, like a GPT-4 translation can be just so natural and normal. So, especially if you know Japanese, you can just manually fix it only a tiny bit.
Localizers ruin that. And now when localizers are losing their jobs to AI, people are just not sympathetic at all. And they're just saying, you reap what you sow.
Again, like, I really have to talk about this. Localizers and translators and interpreters are not losing their jobs because they suck at it. It's more that, like, it's happening everywhere. Again, I got replaced by AI, like, already. Like, nobody even, like, asked me to translate things anymore. Like, again, it's already happening. It's not just because, like, they suck at it. It's been happening.
But that's going to do it for this video. I know a lot of topics in today's video, so feel free, as always, to share all of your thoughts about them in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
That was amazing. But yeah, is Ghost Stories localization bad or funny? I kind of thought it was interesting. Like really, that's my honest take on that. But one thing I really have to say is this whole thing. Yeah, translators are getting replaced with AI, but that's being happening since like September this year. It's not something like that happened recently. Well, it's not because they suck or anything. I guess like that's the main reason for them to be replaced. But I just wanted to say that it's been happening forever. So, do you know this channel ぶっ飛んでる Sora? I made the channel myself, right? It's not about losing their job because they suck at it. It's about no one feeling bad for them because they suck at it. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I just wanted to make sure about the translators getting replaced perspective from my perspective because I'm a translator. And yeah, I mean, there's like no job opportunities for me as a translator, but I still can survive as a voice actor and a sound engineer and other stuff. And I do YouTube to promote my job as well. So, だから最近Soraさん暇が多い. Yeah, I got more time recently just because like I don't have to translate things anymore. And if people ask me, then I'm not gonna say like how I do stuff. No, but there are a lot of ways to just do things well. How do I become a confident, outgoing guy? It's just all about actually doing things, to experience things. Your character is based on your experience. If you want to be confident, if you want to be a strong person, you have to do things to like make yourself like feel confident about yourself. Like in my case, I'm not really confident about myself or anything, but I'm confident about me being cringy because my experience tells me that I'm the cringiest ever. And I have like this channel where I do cringy stuff and everybody says, Sora, you cringe. So I'm just so confident in the industry, right? It's all about experience. So you have to do something to make yourself feel you're confident, right? And Kirio, so some show on Billy English sub is from AI? I guess it's possible, yeah. Thank you, Asta. In short, AI is taking over the bulk of the labor, but we still need people to understand it culturally. Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, there's that. So the thing about it is, it's kind of happening because there are no laws about AI right now. So it's getting abused everywhere. It's getting abused right now. And once like there are laws about it, yeah, I feel like it will settle down. But if it keeps going like this, when GPT-5 gets released, yeah, it's gonna be tough because, right. And anyways, so I think that's it for the stream. But thank you so much for coming to the stream, everybody. And bear with me talking about just dumb stuff. So don't be afraid of embarrassment or failure or criticism. Like, why are you afraid of like criticism though, or even failure? You learn from failures. Embarrassment. Well, what is the point of like feeling embarrassed here? You get embarrassed, but nothing actually happens. Like you don't die. Like. Let me actually talk about this. Like, this is so important to, like, talk about on my channel. By the way, the whole thing is over now. I'm gonna just talk about this, and then I'm gonna just get off. So here, don't be afraid of embarrassment or failure or criticism. If you're, like, worried about that, then you've never tried anything so hard that you wanted to actually just... I was gonna say something like I was not supposed to say, but... It really sounds like you've never tried something so hard to the point where you get depressed. I have before. So, when I was 18, I tried super hard to do something, and I couldn't achieve that goal. And my conclusion was, oh, I'm a failure. I'm not worth anything. Like, I shouldn't even exist in this world. Like, that's basically the conclusion like I faced when I was 18, right? Once you get to that point, you kind of start not caring about embarrassment or failure or like criticism because the depression era. Yeah, so I have like that experience, so I don't care if I get embarrassed because whatever embarrassment I get, I don't want to be like that anymore, right? I want to learn things, I want to do things, and I want to just improve myself and be a better person. Like, that's kind of why I never say anything like, oh, you know what, I'm so great, huh? I never say that because once you say it, you can never improve yourself. Like, you can never be a better person. It seriously, it makes no sense to say something like, oh, I'm a good person. It's always important to see and face bad things about yourself. and find ways to make yourself like a better person. Like that's kind of what I want to do. And thank you, Endless. AI has been changing all fields, and it is an issue to allow for the use of a very powerful tool, but keeping around jobs that now have a more accessible competitor. Thank you. It is a real challenge. Also, don't forget my last donor, Steely. Happy New Year, by the way, everyone. Thank you so much for that. So, in failure or criticism, what you are doing here, let me just be straightforward. Don't be afraid of embarrassment or failure or criticism. Embarrassment, even if you get embarrassed about something, it's not gonna kill you. You are not gonna die. It's not going to. Because that's not how it works. You might get mentally like hurt, but that's really it. Failure. You learn from failures. You learn from mistakes. You make a lot of mistakes and you go like, oh, I made this mistakes, so I'm not gonna do it anymore. That's how you learn. That's how AIs learn too. Criticism. That's how you learn how to improve yourself too. Like, I actually learned it like on my channel too. Like, you know, sometimes I make videos like that are like actually just nonsense, right? And people watch it and people will like, oh, Sora, I get you are trying to be funny, but there's actually nothing in the content. There's like nothing we can learn from the video. And when you look at the comment, there are two things you can do. One, say something like, you are hating me, you suck. Two, you can actually read the message and go like, oh, you're right. Let's see how to improve myself. If you choose to, that's when you can improve yourself. You might get mentally hurt, but that's how you like step forward and be a better person. Also, thank you. We people are cringe. Embrace it, learn. Yeah. So the thing about it is like being cringe, being embarrassed is nothing. Seriously, I used to care about it a lot too. I didn't want to be embarrassed. I didn't want to do anything cringy because I cared about how people saw me. But let me tell you, I am a person that has the cringiest channel ever. And people see me and say, oh, you're cringe. You know like how it works, right? People for sure know, like, I'm cringe. And people in Japan know I'm cringe because I run around in Tokyo say like, Rasengan, Naruto kakoi desu. You guys know how cringy I am. Do people seem to care? No. Do people hate me for it? No. They make fun of me, but they don't care. Oh, and by the way, Endless Science. Let me just read this. The donation. I didn't even see this. I'm sorry. Professor weighing in AI has been a boon and a curse for us here in education. On hand, it assists students with getting tangible examples and content for language learning. But it's so easy to just have it write an essay or get answers for this. Yeah, 100%. But thank you. So, no cringe is embarrassing. Yeah, that's like 100% sure. Like, I've been doing cringy things. Like, I've been talking about, like, Naruto in public with random people. Do you think they care? They might care. They might make fun of you, but they don't hate you for that. They just don't care as long as you are not causing problems. Like, this is one thing I've been saying. You can do anything. You can literally just talk about anything. As long as you are not causing problems. You are not making any people sad. You are not causing crimes. You can do anything. Like, nobody cares. That's how you just live your life, right? And especially pizza. In your case, it sounds like you are still in school. That's kind of why you care about this so much. But once you graduate, you will notice that's nothing. Because, like, once you actually live in the society of, like, adults, people don't care how embarrassing you are or anything. People only care about your value. Like, how good you are as a person. Like, how bad you are as a person. Like, that's what people care about once you are out of school. Like, that's kind of like how it is, really. Sup, I'm Zaz. Maybe the real cringe is the friends we made along. Yeah, so your friends might call you cringe. Some like random people on the internet just might call you cringe. But what's gonna happen, right? They will say, oh, you're cringe, you're embarrassing. But what's gonna happen? Because if you believe that's how you live your life, then you can just be living yourself, right? Like, you can be cringe. You can just do whatever you want to do because there's nothing wrong with it if you're not causing problems. If you're making people sad with it, then you got to stop it right now. But let's say, like, your dream is to live in Japan, right? Your dream is to live in Japan. I just have issues with confidence and social anxiety. One thing I can tell you is social anxiety is a thing because you never talk to people. Like, that's kind of like what happens, because I don't think I have it, but social anxiety, once, like, when you have it and when you try to stay away from people, it gets more hardcore. Like, it gets harder and harder, and you will come to the point where it's harder to talk to people, like, completely. It's more about practice, right? That's one thing I can say. So, I think it's easy to start from, like, talking to people on the internet, like in VR chat, for example, and then you can randomly talk to, like, strangers in real life. Like, that's, I feel like, the best way, honestly. But you don't have to do it if you think you don't have to do it. Like, it's just all about what you want to do. If you think that's not what you want to do, you don't have to, because you don't need to. But if you want to somehow overcome your social anxiety, it's all about practicing. It's kind of like the same thing as, like, playing tennis, speaking Japanese. You gotta speak Japanese to get better, right? Or you gotta play tennis to get better. And if you feel like you have to overcome it, then that's what you do. But if you feel like you don't have to do anything, then you shouldn't really. That's not necessary. That's how you live your life, right? Is this the anime club? Yeah, this is the anime club. But I just wanted to talk about this because this, like, thought. Don't be afraid of embarrassment or failure or criticism. I used to care about this. I used to be so afraid of, like, being embarrassed, being a failure, getting criticized. I used to care about it 24/7. That was like my worst nightmare. But now, I do things everywhere. I get criticized, of course, because I'm cringe. But if the criticisms are kind of valued, actually, like, they are saying something that makes sense, then you can listen to them and just go like, oh yeah, sure, true that. I gotta probably learn from that thing. If they are just, like, roasting you, then you can just go like, oh yeah, they roasted me, and move on, right? So it's just, there's nothing wrong with it. Just live your life in the way you want to do it. Because you know what? Let me tell you one thing. This is going to change your life 100%. Ready? And you will live with this sentence forever. That's how I live my life. Whatever you do, everybody will die. Right? Whatever achievements you get, whatever money, like how much money you have, whatever status you have, everybody will die. Right? That's just one thing that's been happening to every person out there. Yeah, that will happen. Do you want to just not do the things you want to do and regret in the future? Or do you want to do everything you want to do? And then you die while being satisfied with your life. That's how it is. Like, when you do things, I really want you to, like, think about this. Like, whatever I do, whatever that person does, yeah, he will die eventually. I will die eventually. Once you think about it, then how you see things will probably change too. That's kind of like what I think about too. Like, even when you meet somebody really successful and when you're, like, feeling kind of nervous, you just go like, oh, whatever I say, I will die too. Whatever he says, he will die too. We are just all the same. Like, there's, like, no difference. Like, everybody's, like, equal. Whatever we do, any animals, any whatever things, any machines, any cars, any drinks, there's an expiration date. So what do you want to do as long as you last? It's just all about how it works, right? So once you think about it, your life changes. That's kind of why I just run around in Tokyo and say Rasengan, if that makes any sense. Do you have any advice about, like, actual a ton of people hating you because of what you've done just because one person hates on you? So, like, this really feels like a situation of, like, you at school and people now hate you. Let me tell you. So people might hate you too, right? But there are at the same time people who just love you as well. And I feel like your focus is more on the people who hate you. You just care that there are so many people that hate you. But once you actually think about it, there are so many people who love you. If you think there's, like, non-people that love you, then you haven't met the people who actually love you yet. Like, for example, your parents should 100% love you too. And if your parents don't love you, then you should have some friends who love you 100%. You should just focus more on them. Because whatever you do, you'll get hate. Let me tell you. This is coming from a YouTuber. I talk about Naruto. Some people say, I hate this guy. That happens. Like, whatever you do, you get hate. There are definitely some people who hate me, who want to kill me because I talk about Naruto. That happens 100%. And is talking about Naruto a bad thing? I don't think so. And everybody would probably disagree with me, right? It's more about who you care about, who you focus more on. And it really seems like in your situation, you kind of think about the people who hate you more. But the thing about it is, when you are hated by some people, you might feel like you're a worthless shit ever. Like you feel like you don't even have any worth to your life. But let me tell you, when it comes down to having haters, since I'm a YouTuber, I have more haters than you. Mitsuo Koi. Dude, your name is Mitsuo Koi, right? I'm 100% sure I have more haters. I have more people that hate me because I'm a YouTuber. Like, my name is out there. Let me tell you, I have more haters who are trying to, like, probably destroy me 100%. More than you. Because my name is out there. And there should be so many people who hate me, who actually don't like me. That's how it is. Do you still think you are worthless? Maybe not now. Because you now noticed. You have a lot less haters now, right? It's more that like you focus on the haters like that don't like you. But in reality, you just have a lot of people that like you as well. You just have to like focus more on them too. Because again, there are more people that hate me in the world. So you're basically better than me in the ranking of like who's getting hated more. I'm hated more. So like, let's say like there's a ranking and number one's like whatever person out there. I'm probably like around here and you're like here because there are more people that hate me, right? So in that sense, it's whatever. You just have to focus more on the people like who like you, right? So it's seriously nothing. And if you want to know if you are hated more, just upload a video and see like how many dislikes you get. I get about like 100 in each video, but at the same time I get about like 10,000 likes too. So it's just more about focusing more on the people who like you. That's how it goes. That's kind of why this video is all about this channel is like focused on weebs and talking about anime, because weebs like me, I like weebs. That's kind of like what's happening. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Are you also streaming on Twitch or only YouTube? Yeah, YouTube only, really. Hate a K-pop group, you'll get lots of haters. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So, I'm gonna go now. I don't know if I'm gonna stream tomorrow. Maybe I will, because I want to like still test my mic and see if it's gonna work. So, you can't satisfy all people, so F them. You don't have to say it though. You don't have to say like F them. You still like need to respect everybody. Like, it's kind of important to see why some people hate you as well. If the hate makes no sense, then it's whatever. But if the hate actually makes some sense, something like oh, this guy says this word, so that's why I don't like him. If somebody says that about you, then that's when you learn. So you really cannot say like, oh, F all of them. Because some of them are actually constructive too. So, also thank you. Haters are gonna hate because they masturbate. Thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. Use that mic in your outdoor stream. Yeah, so I'm gonna just leave now. Don't understand the hate. Yeah, it's important to like also listen to hate comments too and see if they are actually meaningful. If they are just like hating on you because they don't like your face, then it's just whatever. You can just block them and stuff. But if they are saying something like, you did this, why do you do this? It's not good. Then you can actually learn from it. That's how it goes. I know it's hard at first. It was hard for me too. It was really hard for me too. But I had to do it because the camera's trolling me. Because when I was like 17, 16, I wanted to change myself. I literally Googled how to change myself. I literally Googled that every day because I felt like my life was not going well. And I couldn't get an answer. But the easiest way to like change yourself is to actually listen to everybody and see like what you need in your life, right? But it's all up to you, right? It's all up to you. If you don't think some advice is like not necessary, then you don't have to listen to them. Like, it's just all about your choice. And I guess this is how I am now. That does like cringy stuff. Are you gonna get a haircut? Not probably. But yeah, anyways, bye bye everybody. I'll stream tomorrow and I'm gonna just like check if my mic is like working well. So Really don't like how people judge people and hate them for cringe. Really immature, hating itself over social media is immature and insecure. You think so, right? But I was kind of curious about it. Let me just talk about this too, because this is important here. So, people hating other people is a coping mechanism, actually. So it's like people hate other people to feel superior about themselves. So if you see a person that hates everybody, they have a lot of like inferiority complex going on too. Something like their parents abuse them or they suck at some certain things. So like they have to hate other people. Like it's usually how it is. So if you don't understand how it works, they are trying to make themselves happy by hating people. Like, oh, I hate that guy. That's a way to make themselves like feel superior. So they hate people. So they don't get depressed. They are trying to survive. They are trying to be happy. And hating is a way to make themselves like feel happy. So there's that too. Now you understand how that happens, and maybe you can just empathize with them too. That's kind of what I do. Like, I don't really just talk shit about any hate comments or anything, right? Because I understand their situation too. Like, they either are young or they have something going on. That's kind of why I never really ban anything. But if it's like about racial slurs or like anything about some certain countries, some certain races, I ban them because it's not about me. It's about just attacking everybody. It's not constructive like at all. So, but anyways, I really gotta go now. I gotta take a shower and I gotta get some work done because I got some messages. Wasn't that a line in Welcome to the NHK? I don't know. I don't even know like what anime that is. But bye bye everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, bye. 宇田さん賢い、宇宙さん賢いですよ。宇宙って書いて空って読もうとしてるっしょ。俺そんな名前でもないけど。バイバイ。